We are going to be planting native plants, the first ones ever on the Tolo property. We've got 8 plants today. Hopefully we'll get all of them into the ground. And then after today, we've only got 43,992 left to go. Okay. We've got a beautiful cultivar red flax, New Zealand native flax. Not necessarily a big fan of cultivars because they're less hardy, but this is going to be the entrance of the land, so we want to make it look very nice. Hence this red one, surrounded by some of the kōuka cabbage trees, and give it a very New Zealand native feel. So quite clayey, the soil. I looked it up, it's called yellow ultic soil, so it's has a quite dense layer of soil. Means it holds the water very nicely. Other than that, I have no idea what it means. And it's quite rocky as well, so digging holes is not always going to be easy, especially in some of the parts that have been modified. As you can see, this one is definitely ready to go into the soil. Now, getting close to root bound, so we'll just tickle the roots a bit on the bottom just to trigger them to loosen themselves and expand into the soil. Hello, nice of you to join me down here on what is going to be the future forest floor of an amazing native forest. I want to highlight one of the reasons why we probably won't be planting 44,000 plants, but let's get back to the planting, finish that up first, and then I'll show you what I mean. Try and dig another hole, see how we go. See how close we can get. Found a little secret.
What?
Someone planted a tree here before us. So someone will have planted this Kahikatea, struggling just a little bit with the location. So Kahikatea is a canopy species tree in New Zealand, so it does like a bit of cover, and it grows up to 60 meters. It's one of the tallest trees in New Zealand. I guess it's a good thing that we're planting around this to give it a bit of extra protection. It looks like it's putting on new growth, this season's new growth, which is a good sign, even though it was hiding in the grass, invisible to us when we came here. So hopefully by planting a few trees around it, we'll give it a bit more protection and a bit more a boost to grow. Next up, kōuka or cabbage tree. Beautiful, very specific plant to New Zealand. And it's going to grow into a nice big tree, beautiful berries. A lot of parts of it are edible, so it's also nice. And let's get this one into the ground.
So is that a different one from the big one that's behind you?
No, it's the same one.
Same one, but just smaller.
Smaller and younger.
Oh yeah.
Same species, same tree, just a different age. 2 species of plant that are not necessarily native to New Zealand, or not at all native, but I want to highlight today and discuss briefly is we've got broom and we've got gorse, and both of them are thriving on the property. They really like bare land and disturbed soil, so that's why there's a lot of them around. And traditionally a lot of people try and fight them and spray them and all those kinds of things, which is one way of approaching it. I'm going to try a different method, a different route, and kind of take some theory of syntropic agriculture. Because these are both nitrogen fixing, they have a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in the soil, and together with the bacteria they capture nitrogen from the air and kind of sequester it in the soil. Nitrogen is an essential nutrient for plant growth and for plant health, something that makes up amino acids and proteins. It's also important for humans, but we get it through a different way. I'm going to try and harness their power of grabbing the nitrogen from the air and putting it into the soil. And I'm just going to come through and chop them at the base. And all this green matter, all this leafy stuff, all the flowers, all that thing, I'm just going to lay around the plants. That nitrogen is going to break down, the leaf matter is going to break down, feed the soil, feed the microorganism, that kind of stuff. That's going to trigger a hormonal growth in the soil, and that's going to help boost not only the plants that we are chopping, but also the plants that we want to grow. So it's a nice system, it's an experiment, and we'll see how we go. So the total of the 44,000 plants that we need to cover this whole area, the bare land, of course we're not going to be planting those all because there's quite a bit of regeneration happening naturally. So here I am in and amongst the broom and the gorse. There's a bit of karamu coming up, these two over here, and smaller ones as well. And then there's also a little bit of manka coming up. And these are just a few of the species that are showing up all over the land. And I guess that's one of the main reasons why the 43,992 plants that we still need to plant is a bit of an exaggeration, of course, because there's quite a bit of natural regeneration happening. Ta-da! Here's the end result a few weeks later. You can barely see the plants, which makes sense because we put them in the ground and the grass and all the other plants around them have taken off in the spring growth. I'm not too worried about it because come back next year and they'll be all above the grass, and this will be a beautiful entrance to the land. It's also a gentle reminder, an invitation for us to remember that this project is a long-term project and that things are not going to be happening overnight. What are we doing today? I don't know. Oh man, what a pain in the backside, eh? Testing the microphone. Good enough?
Yep.